Of course, whether you like it or not, most times you may not be given the privilege that others have. But there is a principle laid down that when you subscribe to it, there is nothing the devil can do about it. And one of that principle is that a young man is expected to remember the Lord at his time, when his prime as such. Because at that moment is the time when it's much easier for you to pay the price to be able to know God and to encounter God. A time is going to come when the burdens of life have the ability to make you look upon God and feel, I will just make heaven alone. Whether you like it or not, as you advance in age, the tendency for you to be able to pursue God begin to decrease. It's normal. And this is the reason why many people that have not found their purpose on campus or peradventure in a society that was designed during their youthful age discover that they find it very hard to even charter the course of their life aright. One of the greatest attack of a youthful man or a youthful lady, one of the greatest attack upon the youth, of course I call it 21st century of distraction, is that most time the devil ensures that he takes their eyes away from their creator. Move around the street and see all kinds of people having pleasure, enjoying all kinds of things, and to them they believe that that is life. But life begins with God. And so long as a man have not made contact with his creator to be able to understand from the blueprint of the design what he ought to do, who he's supposed to be, his identity, there is no way that that man can make impact upon the face of the earth. And the greatest challenge there is that his life is going to be wasted. Many years ago, the Lord taught me about 4 challenges of a believer, which refer to as tragedy of a believer. Many of the challenges, but there are few that were more like a tragedy. And the number 1 tragedy there was that it's possible for a believer, to just think that his life is governed by himself, and one day he wake up and it's no longer existing. Death is the equalizer to every vagabond, every bastard, everyone that think he know what he's doing. You see, everybody boasts now, but when death come, everybody bow. Until a man has found, if you have not solved this, you'll be afraid every day. Every day you will live in fear, no matter how much you have in your bank account. There's a security that money does not bring. Money brings certain security when this is established. And to me, a young man has no business chasing money if he has not chased this. Because the money itself will confuse you more. And that is why I don't even believe that every believer should be taught finance except he's taught God. Because he'll be distracted. He will leave church to go look for that. I get my point. But when this one is established, he now has a purpose to be able to push in those finance to advance the cause of the gospel. Because that may be the reason why you'll be out of it. Remember the Lord thy God, because an evil day come. And that evil day is the day of tragedies. All kinds of tragedy, untold tragedy. If men that knew God, them themselves, the harbinger of death, took them. You that know nothing about God, what do you think is your security on the earth? What do you think? There are days I wake up, I don't know about you, but I know the devil don't like me. I know he doesn't like me. He doesn't like my mother, like my father. He doesn't like anybody that knows me at all. If the devil has his will, he will kill all of us now, because all of you are his enemies. You are a great threat. But why is it that you are alive? Do you know you have passed through death several times? When we are coming, that journey was not too sweet. I mean, I saw kinds of accidents on the road, and I like, are you sure we won't turn back? Sometimes when you travel and you see accident, you feel like, Kai, are you sure I will reach safely? But why do you see advance? Because of this. Because you know the evil day will come, it will bypass you. Because you have already remembered your creator. Everyone that you see today that is old and is confused, I say this without apology, it's simply because he has neglected this protocol. And now it looks as though God is trying to repair their lives. And peradventure, God is successfully done with that project of repairing their life. They will end up only making heaven. And they can't even save another person. Because there are many people that are not even sure of their salvation, not even talk about reaching out to another person. If you peradventure try to attach them to somebody else, they lose their salvation. If they don't lose their salvation, they lose their consecration, and at the tail end, of course, their life is not different from an unbeliever. And that is the reason why youth are primed with the responsibility to always remember their Creator. Because the number one tragedy is death. It's an equalizer. And every day, when the harbinger come, I live in a region where it's full of all kinds of darkness. All kinds of darkness. And I know how much warfare it takes for somebody to survive in my clan. You know, many of you in your tribe, there are so many people that are standard. But I know in my tribe, if you want to count great people that has my tribal lineage, there are not many in Nigeria. In fact, there are not many in the world. So I know that there is something, you know, that ensures that this thing remains as a status quo. Who are you to come and challenge it? So you find yourself repeating the patterns of your families. And you wonder, if you are not careful, you will do the same and become like them. And even they come and test everybody. And at any point in time, you have not have a sufficient foundation in God, you become part of the tragedy. What is the guarantee that you will not die tomorrow? Do you know pastors more anointed than you died? Do you know people that give more died? A woman called me, she was shouting, Apostle, I do this, I do that, I do this. Why this? I realized there's something she's not telling me. You know, people will always tell you some things and not tell you other things. God is just. He may not be fair, but he's just. And the justice system of God will vet everything about you. The only reason why I'm sure that I may not die tomorrow is because when I look through the scale of the balance of the justice of God, I can't be found wanted. But many people, when they are numbered and they are away, something has the ability to lay hold of them. So every day their only security is to cry for mercy. And if they don't cry per day, they don't have the right to live that day. How am I sure your destiny will be great? How am I sure that you will not be cut short? How? Because everybody wants to fly. But sometimes, just when the bird decides to go, and that is when the hunter takes it. Sometimes just when the animal wants to leave, he leaves his leash and decides to go out, and that is when the hunter takes. The devil is in the project looking for how to be able to steal and kill and destroy all of us. And my prayer daily is that I will be so invisible that just when you pass, they say the devil was here looking for you. Remember the Lord thy God. A tragedy come daily. There are days I wake up and it's as though I was dead. There was a day I wake up and I was not alive. It was my spirit that was hovering around the room, and I knew my body, I knew I was gone. It was not an encounter, it was an attack. I know what is an encounter, and I know when dead is dead. And I shouted, I refuse to die. I am Philip Cephas, I belong to God. You see, now I'm going. The Lord said, no, I return back to my body. I said, let's continue. I was sweating. I looked for the next village to go for outreach. Let me cast out. I said, let me see the devil again. The number one tragedy of life is death. Everything you think you know now, you want to live your life, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to achieve this, you want to achieve that. If you neglect God in it, I'm telling you the truth, when the devil comes, you can't resurrect. You can't even resurrect now, you can't even resurrect later. It's not possible. The beauty of everything that God has earmarked for you to be able to do in life will be cut short. It's true. It's number one tragedy. Eternal life is good, but people that are born again still die. You need to know beyond that. You need to be able to always, every day, you must walk in it. It's possible for you to die and still go to heaven, but is that what you want now? Because that is not really the plan and the purpose of God. The plan and the purpose of God is not for us to die and go to heaven. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I still believe that it's even possible. God will even wish. God is in a mission for conquest to get as many people as possible. So it's possible, even if it is going to be possible for you to lose your soul and win 1,000 people. I think it's a profit to the kingdom of heaven. So what I'm trying to let you understand, the goal is not just for you to be born again and escape. The goal is to ensure that we bring the entire system of this earth under the government of God.